Alright, bro. What is good, YouTube, man? I'm going to be dropping the most controversial weapons tier list in Bloodlines. I say this because I really don't think a lot of the noobs, new players, or even just up-and-coming players, I don't think any of these guys are going to agree with this tier list. The only people I see actually agreeing with this tier list are people that have been playing the game for a very, very, very long time. I'm talking about maybe even before the re-release. That's personally when I started. I did not start during the re-release. I started before that. If you played the game a little bit before that, and then maybe you came back after the game redropped, that doesn't count. If you were playing consistently after the re-release, then I think you're definitely going to agree with this tier list. And let's just go ahead and let's just get straight into it, man. So first of all, we got the bow. I'm gonna keep this shit right the fuck here. This is not moving at all. This shit is not going to move. Okay, this is just the worst weapon in the entire game. I think that this is just completely unusable right now. The damage on it is terrible. It's got one decent move, and that's basically about it. Like, this thing is just trash. Like, the range on it does not make up for the amount of low damage that it does. And same with the Chakra Steel. The Chakra Steel is great. It's cool. You know, it's nice, but the weapon is trash. Okay, I'm not going to argue that. It's just bad. Next up, we're going to be talking about the best weapon in the entire game. This is going to be the most controversial part of the tier list. But I'm going to be explaining why Spirit is just definitively the best weapon in the entire game. So to a noob, you're like, what? No, it's Kunai. No, the fuck it's not. And no, it's not Tai either. I'm going to explain why. So this thing on paper sounds broken. It's even worse in game. So look, you get access to literally everything besides Ragdoll. That's it. Look, now when I say that, I'm not saying you're bad at Ragdoll. Okay, Spirit can definitely play Ragdoll builds. It's just you don't get a Ragdoll playing this weapon. Other than that, you get everything else. You get a ceiling move. Actually, let's not even start with that. You get very, very high bleed. You get high bleed, high base damage. You get 3 combo extenders, and then one of them is a guard break, and you get one of them that hits even after they sub. Like, it won't hit, but it'll still pull them in. I'm talking about chain pull. If somebody uses chain pull and you time it right and you use that shit. Sorry, my bad. If you use chain pull when somebody subs and you time that shit right, it'll still pull them in. It won't hit, but it'll keep them in place, which is insanely broken. On top of that, you get access to infusions, which is huge. I think infusions do make a difference. They absolutely do. You also get access to a blue shield proccing ceiling move, which is just insane. It's just... Oh, and the fucking cherry on top, you get 2 separate mobility moves, each with their own cooldown. So this weapon has mobility, high damage, high bleed, blue shield proccing, ceiling move, and you get access to infusions. This thing is just the best in the entire game. And if you disagree, bro, I don't know, bro. You just have not seen anybody genuinely use Spear. Like, you've never seen anybody who's like top 5 on this thing, because this is just definitively the best weapon in the entire game. All right, so next up, this is also going to be a little bit controversial because it's not Kunai. It's going to be Taijutsu. I'm going to explain why. So the thing about Taijutsu is that, number one, it's not going to click with everybody. Okay. I feel like Taijutsu is a little bit, it's kind of sort of easy to understand, but it's very, very hard to learn and hard to master as well. I think Tai has a very high skill ceiling. It's not as easy to learn as Kunai, and it's very, very hard to like master. Tai is just not going to click with everybody, but Tai is just good at everything. It's good at sub bait, very, very good at ragdolls. And it's just good all around. Even though you can actually punish this weapon, unlike Spear, there's some tech that you can do to make dynamic entry more about mobility than you can actually just using the move just to hit it. So I feel like, oh my gosh, I keep burping, bro. My fault. The reason why I feel like this thing is so good is because of dynamic entry. I think it's the most slept on move in the entire game. And I'm not talking about just for hitting people. I'm talking about for getting behind their block. So if you know you're fighting somebody that's decent at PBing, you can use dynamic entry as sort of like a dragon dash to kind of like just get around their block and either make them sub or, you know, catch them out of it. So instead of trying to hit them with the move directly, just go around their block. It makes the move very, very safe to use, and the move doesn't have any end lag whether you hit it or not. Like, I mean, it has end lag, but it's the same whether you hit the move or not. So, you know, and just seeing the move get thrown out immediately demands respect. It's sort of like Twin Flames in a way. Like, if somebody's consistently hitting Twin Flames on you, then, you know, the next few times it starts coming out, man, you kind of just have to start respecting the move, because it's like, oh shit, you know, they kind of got some aim to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've got some pretty good aim. And so that's sort of the same thing with dynamic entry. You know, if people aren't using it to actually hit you, they're using it to sort of like maneuver around your block, then it can get a little techie, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna lie. And then it also has Lines Barrage, which is a very solid move. Good for voids, just literally just a free jutsu confirm. Tai also just has high base damage, like it really does. The chakra costs for chakra punches are really not that much at all. And Tai is just good on every build. I think it's just very, very solid all around. And that's basically it for Tai, man. You know, great ragdolls, great for sub bait, high damage, high base damage. Doesn't have access to bleed damage or infusions, but still very solid weapon. All right, so for the third, man, this is the hardest for me in my opinion, because as much as I would love to put Kunai as the third best weapon in the entire game, it's simply just not. The third best weapon in the entire game, and you could argue the second. I'm not gonna lie, you could argue this is the second best weapon in the entire game. It's gonna have to be Greatsword, bro. I think Greatsword's a solid A tier. It's not necessarily an S tier, but it's definitely an A tier. The reason why this shit is at where it's at, and it's above Kunai, is because number one, Kunai just gets fucking nerfed every update. I'm not gonna lie. That's the main reason why Kunai is just not in top 3 right now. But this shit, bro, anytime Greatsword is on a build, it's because the build is just on some broken shit, you know? Like, for example, Greatsword Wood, you know, you get hit by one Cleave Rush and it's just fucking half your health is just gone because you get hit by Wood Spire and then a fucking Biju Bomb and then fucking Shukaku Slam. It's a, you know, Wood Root. It's like, damn, like, slow down, Tiger, goddamn. And then you got Greatsword on Yuki. That shit is just, oh, man, just, wow. Like, just seeing it, man, just seeing it is just insane. Like, it's just sad, bro. Greatsword Yuki just is something else. It's just one of the top builds right now, man. It's definitely one of the top builds. I think Greatsword's a very solid weapon. Has arguably the highest damage. Not necessarily. There's some, you know, Tai, I think. Tai has more damage than Greatsword, depending on what you're using. But Greatsword is just still solid. It's very easy to PB, but if you do get hit by it, oh, man, bro. It also has Gunbai, the like Gunbai counterpart, which has the Tornado. The Tornado was broken because even if you sub out of it, you still get dragged. So it gives you less time to kind of like recover and reset the fight back to neutral. So, yeah, man, Greatsword is just always going to be a very, very solid weapon. But Tai is just a little bit better because I think Tai just has insane damage. Insane combos. It's very, very, it's just nice. It's just clean, bro. Tai is just clean. And then Greatsword is just broken. Like, I think these two right here, you can honestly switch, but it would really just depend on the build. And that's basically it for these two. All right, so for the fourth best weapon in the entire game, is finally a fan favorite, but also the most annoying weapon in the entire game to most, is Kunai. So, Kunai, like I said, bro, is just the most nerfed weapon in the entire game, and not reasonably so at all. So before the re-release of the game, this thing was a fucking monster because you were able to wear the Lee's armor, which only now gives an M1 buff to Taijutsu users, but this M1 buff would apply to everything before the re-release, at least a little bit before the re-release. And, well, actually during the whole re-release of the game. So Lee's armor would buff your M1s regardless of what weapon you wear. And that only really got nerfed and stopped a little bit before the game's re-release. So there was kind of like a saga before like the redrop where this didn't buff every M1 type in the game. This would also include Susanos, which we'll get into maybe in like another video. But yeah, that really nerfed Kunai. And then on top of that, they also added buffer blocking, which was an indirect nerf to Kunai. And then they nerfed bleed damage, which was another nerf to kunai, and then they just directly nerfed. Like, this thing is just the most nerfed weapon in the entire game. The reason why it's even up this high, though, on the list, below sword, is because this thing has a very high skill ceiling. I feel like very easy to learn, but very hard to master, and it's very obvious when somebody's better than you on this weapon. Because, man, kunai is just very, very, like, very versatile. You know, it's good on ragdoll builds. Not the best. It's also very good on subbait, which I don't think it's the best subbait weapon in the entire game. I think there are other weapons that could do it better. Kunai is just a huge noob stomper. But once you get to, like, the competitive play, or, like, a little bit higher, well, once you kind of sort of get up there, you kind of understand that kunai is not really a threat anymore. It's just kind of you know, it's just all right. You sort of start to realize that kunai really, really needs help from other things for this weapon to, like, truly shine. That's if you're fighting decent players. But, yeah, if you're fighting noobs, man, or just somebody that's new to the game, or just someone who has trouble fighting kunai, you can really tell, because, like, you just put straight belt on them. But, yeah, if you know, you try to fight somebody that's been playing the game for 2 to 3 years, bro, it's not doing much. I'm sorry, it's just really not. They really need to buff kunai. Like, I'm sorry, the propaganda on kunai needs to really be stopped, bro. That's basically it, bro. That's all I really gotta say for kunai. I think this shit needs a buff. Stop, bro. Stop trying to get this shit nerfed. Alright, so next up we got sword. I think it's gonna be our first B tier. I don't really think it's on the level of great sword or kunai. And, you know, actually, well, maybe, you know, I'll put it on A tier. Only because it has access to infusions. I think it's very slept on. No one uses infusions on their kunai or their kusanagi for some reason. I don't know why. But if you wanted some picks, bro, flame gems and ice gems would be insane right now. And water gems. I think those three are, like, probably the best gems in the entire game. So yeah, sword, very just good all-arounder. This is very easy to PB, but I think in turn it also has the best punish game. Because let's say you PB, let's say I'm on sword and or let's say maybe you're on sword and you PB something I do and I get vertical slashed. That's at least 33 health taken away from me, just because, like, the vertical slash combos are just insane. I also think sword also has a high skill ceiling. I think you just have to be a little bit better than the player to use. But another thing too about sword is that once you kind of understand what somebody on sword is going for, the weapon isn't that good. Like, a lot of sword players kind of follow the same pattern where they let you get close to them and then they just vertical slash. And then that's basically it. And then they'll just throw blinding strikes out every now and then to kind of either catch you out of sub or to make you sub. And that's essentially it. Like, I don't really think it's really A tier. I'm just going to keep it up there only because it has infusions. Alright, so next up, Awesome Mod. B tier, not really that good. But also definitely not a bad weapon. I think Awesome Mod is a very solid weapon. I just think that similar to Kunai, got over nerfed. But the bleed damage on this is insane. No, you don't need Otsu for this weapon to be good. I think this weapon is also, I think it's just very good alone. I just think that the fact that you can cancel your Awesome Eye dance by accident is very, very annoying. Actually, this weapon did just get recently rebuffed, but I still don't think it's enough. I still think that this weapon is just kind of it's kind of just like a joke weapon. Like, every time you see this in a gank, you're just like, oh. Like, it's just alright. Like, if you get beat by somebody generally using this weapon, bro, they're just better than you. I'm sorry, bro. And then Bo's just staying where it's at, bro. It's just trash. Alright, that's it. Peace.